All right, welcome to today's lesson. Today we are looking at into and into, into and into. When do we use these words? All right, so the first one we're looking at is the word into, just as a word, not two different words. So it's used actually to indicate movement or direction towards the inside of something. Quite apart from that, it could also be used to show or indicate a transformation. So in our first example, we have she walked into the room. Direction, into the room. She walked into the room. In our second example, we have the detective followed him into the dark. The detective followed him into the dark. So again, it helps us see that there is a movement towards a direction. In our third example, the magician turned the hat into a rabbit. This doesn't show or indicate any form of direction or movement, but it indicates a transformation. Great. So I wanted you to observe something. Observing these three sentences, you realize that after the into, what comes is a noun phrase. So we have the room in the first example. In the second example, we have the duck. In the third example, we have a rabbit. These are noun phrases. So from our observation with these sentences, that's what we can actually see. And I hope that's really very clear. All right. So we are moving on to look at into. In as a word and to as a word. They are two separate words. So into is a combination actually of the preposition in and the to, which is actually an infinitive marker. So it is actually used when in and to appear together in a sentence with different functions. Why different functions? Because they are two separate words, but they appear together in the sentence that they find themselves. First example, he walked in to ask a question. Not into to ask a question, but in to ask a question. Two separate words. In our second example, the patient went in to see the doctor. To do what? To see the doctor. Then we see in our third example, sorry, here we have just two examples. Now we realize that after the two, I said earlier that the two is an infinitive marker. So after that we have the verb ask. Then that's in the first example. In the second example, we have the verb see. So to ask and to see. In to ask, in to see. And I hope that's really very clear here. Great. So next we have a very short write-up here where both into and into are found. I read, last week Tuesday, Mr. Peter walked into the meeting at exactly 11:30 a.m. He walked in to chair the meeting, but he was 30 minutes late. So again, you observe that after into, Mr. Peter walked into, what do we have next? A noun phrase, the meeting. I hope that's very clear. Great. Then he walked into chair. So after to, again we have chair. Chair here is not a noun in isolation. Chair will be seen as a noun, but in this sentence it is functioning as a verb, to chair. That's what Mr. Peter is going to do in the meeting. Great. Thank you for joining me in today's video. Like the video and leave a comment. Bye.